Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this episode of the Dan Dawson Show. So I keep telling you, we're winning this fight. I mean, it's not like we're fighting alone. Now, the people who aren't really politically involved have been harmed by politics. See, this is how it starts. And I always say there's certain important things we need to keep track of, right? Take, for instance, this new DA prosecutor who's just been appointed in Massachusetts. She got appointed. Kamala Harris had to come down and give her a 51-50 vote. I'm going to unpack some things. This is on Tucker Carlson. You can go look it up. But what I recommend you do is go look at YouTube, Ted Cruz, Rachel Rollins, and how he unpacks her at her nomination committee hearing or nomination hearing. He just ate her up. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna have a quote here from you, right? Or from her. It's a letter she did in February. If you watch that video, Ted Cruz tells you how to, tweets it out actually. So you can go look it up on his Twitter. But quote, what she's put in her letter. If you want to change the criminal justice system, become a prosecutor because you have the power to decline crimes to prosecute. She's also, remember, an abolish the police candidate. When they say they're defund the police or reimagine policing, no, they're actually anti-police. And you'll see why that doesn't work here in a little bit. And you'll see why the Democrats know a landslide is coming. They've isolated so many of America's working class, people who are getting robbed in the streets, stuff like this. They've changed so many laws. I told you how they did it in Seattle. Hey, these particular violent crimes are just misdemeanors now. A couple of months later, they come out and say, hey, cops can't arrest for misdemeanors. So those once violent felonies are now not even crimes. And if the prosecutors in those areas aren't going to even convict, then there's nothing there. So like in Seattle, what happened? They're recalling a good part of the city council. I know Sawant is up for recall and they want to get rid of them. They're done with them. The prosecutor for San Francisco, they want to get rid of him. The prosecutor for Portland, Oregon, they're recalling him. They're pulling all these people back. So what you're going to have is people living in these situations because the Democrats never stop pushing. They keep pushing. And if you'll notice now, everything coming up is about race. They want you to fear people. They want you to fear anybody of the opposite race. This appointment was just about race. Watch what well, not in this video, but all they're saying is it's a historical first Massachusetts Black DA, but she's evil. And she's only half Black, not even the good half. I bet she don't even have neck bones and collard greens. Some oxtails. I could really use some oxtails. My sister makes the greatest oxtails. Hell, I had some of her oxtails. I done stopped making oxtails. So let's go ahead and unpack this. And I got a few things to sprinkle in here and there. Took me a couple of notes. That's how good the Ted Cruz takedown was of her. You're going to love it. I'm telling you, go watch the video. It's worth it. It's like 13 minutes long, but it's well worth it. All righty. So this is from Business and Politics Review. Headline, writer Robin Perez. Headline, Tucker unpacks full story behind Biden's racist new DA. That's also the thing, she's racist, and you're going to see it in this. This is really, really good. She should be nowhere near our justice system. Massachusetts controversial new top cop appears to be a racist who doesn't seem to believe in enforcing the law. The Senate confirmed Rachel Rollins, a prosecutor who wants to, it says defund, abolish the police. There's no difference. It's the same thing. And decriminalize a host of crimes, including shoplifting and drug possession. By a razor-thin 51-50 vote along party lines on Wednesday, Vice President Kamala, like every Black man I see up, Harris had to cast a deciding vote. Don't forget, she also threatened Willie Brown, the married black man she slept with, to get into her office in the first place. So, and Ted Cruz names he gives you everything you need to find this. Go watch that video, please. And these are the crimes. What she has put in writing, she stated these should always be denied, even if attached to another charge. Let's go over the list because they don't do it justice in here. I want to go over it all because it's a list of 15 things. Trespass. That means somebody can come on your property, there's nothing you can do about it. Shoplifting, which we already see how that's working out in San Francisco and Los Angeles. Larceny. Disorderly conduct, disturbing the police. Now you can harass the police, apparently. Receiving stolen property. Sometimes you'll accidentally receive a stolen property. I never have, but I guess that happens. Saw it on a TV show once. Driving with a suspended license, which is great because, hey, if you get your 15th DUI, they can't even do anything because it's not a crime. Breaking and entering into a vacant property to shield or sleep from the cold. Property damage, somebody's going to have to pay for it. Breaking and entering into a non-vacant property, your home, to shield themselves from the cold. So if it gets cold outside, right? And it's Massachusetts, it's freaking Boston. It's too cold even for Tom Brady. He was there for 50 years. So now that you can come in your home, it's not a crime. You can't even call the cops. You can't shoot them because, well, the first thing these liberal people do is disarm you. You can bet they want your Second Amendment. They take your Second Amendment, everything else is falling. The Second Amendment is the cornerstone. And I say that as a Freemason, and I truly believe this. They're cornerstone of the U.S. Constitution. And there's a reason they want to take it from you. Wanton malicious destruction of property, meaning they can bust out your windows with a baseball bat, and it's not a crime. There's nothing you can do about it. Threats, meaning they can threaten you, your kids, your wife. There's nothing you can do about it. Minor in possession of alcohol. That happens. Marijuana possession. Some states have legalized it. Possession with intent to distribute. Oh my Lord. It's a lot of drug dealers going to make a lot of money in Massachusetts. Non-marijuana possession, meaning fentanyl, meth, all this good type of shit. And resisting arrest, meaning now you can fight the cops. Go watch that Ted Cruz video. I'm telling you, it's worth your time. I just wanted to go over what she's proposing. She put it in writing. I'm not making this up. It's in writing. Let's continue. Republicans fought the confirmation every step of the way, many saying she was unstable and didn't have the temperament for the job. Fox News host Tucker Carlson presented viewers with a disturbing look into Rollins' past during Thursday's Tucker Carlson Tonight. From what I've seen, she doesn't have the temperament. Carlson contended she should be, or Tucker Carlson contended she should be disqualified immediately from administering our laws. Rollins sees race first. She's a racist, so she can't be fair. This is all very obvious, or should be obvious. It always has been obvious. Yet, amazingly, thanks to the principles of equality, Rachel Rollins has just been promoted. He began his monologue with the story of a woman named Katie Lawson, who was exiting a Boston mall last Christmas Eve when she noticed a woman in a Chevy Tahoe yelling at her. According to Carlson, the woman rolled down her window and started to scream at Lawson. "You want me to write you a ticket?" she barked. "Because I'll write you a ticket. Today is not the day to try me." And with that, this mysterious woman turned a set of police emergency strobe lights on her SUV. Something just struck me here. Here's what I'm going to do. Here's what I'm going to do. You know how we have the Beckys who go off on people and yell? Well, now we're going to have the Tanishas. The Tanishas are the Black Beckys. She's a Tanisha. They come in all shapes, sizes, raises, colors. She's an angry woman who's going to yell and try to push you around. Why, I don't know. Upon reporting the disturbing incident to the local police, Lawson learned the angry woman impersonating a police officer was Rollins. Remember, a district attorney is not a cop. She shouldn't even had that card. That's a felony. She should be in prison. The Suffolk County District Attorney. After the story broke on the local news, Rollins never apologized for or seemed embarrassed by her actions. Tanishas usually don't. That's what they do. Rather, she compared herself to Emmett Till, a 14-year-old child who was lynched in 1955. For this crazy Tanisha to compare herself to Emmett Till is utterly, one, ridiculous, two, insulting to any Black man or any 1955. You know how many Black men were lynched on their words, on lies? And for her to compare herself, you're a district attorney. You have plenty of money. You're not living impoverished. You're not being lynched. You're full of shit, you over-whining. Let me continue. When a news crew arrived at Rollins' house, she grew incensed, yelling and threatening the journalist. Quote, "Get away from my family. Speak to me at my job. If I get hurt or harmed because of this, you are on the record for that. Or my kids are fucking killed," Rollins told the journalist in the parking lot near her house. Quote, "Who do you think you are? This is private property. Get out of here," end quote. She lashed out at Larson, describing her story as the rantings of a white woman. Sounds racist. Carlson called Rollins' confirmation heartbreaking and warned she is a living attack on our ancient system of justice, which once again is the best and most important thing the United States still has. Rollins has views the earlier generations would have correctly compared to Nazi race theory. She believes that melanin determines moral worth, which is grotesque and immoral, end quote. Rollins' position on crime and the law are well known, according to Carlson. Upon her election to district attorney in Boston, she promised not to enforce the law. She claimed that ignoring the law, already gone over those laws, ignoring the law would somehow make Suffolk County safer. It's not an exaggeration. Rollins announced a list of 15 offenses, which I just covered. At least she was explicit about it, that henceforth she would refuse to prosecute. Those offenses included trespassing, shoplifting, breaking and entering, wanton destruction of property, drug possession with intent to distribute, drug dealing, and resisting arrest. Lunacy, end quote. Carlson and many on the right worried that the Senate has just confirmed a racist as a federal prosecutor. He warned that Rollins, who is half white, believes that race is a moral category, something that should play no role in our America's justice system. What do we know, or what we do know, is that it is completely unacceptable to have a racist working as a federal prosecutor in this country. If you think race is a moral category, and Rachel Rollins does think that, you should be nowhere near our justice system. Justice is colorblind. Justice must be colorblind, or else it's not justice. It's just vengeance. Carlson added, every American citizen has a fundamental right to be judged equally under the laws of the United States, regardless of what they look like, period. DNA can play no role in our justice system. Now, you might think that Dan thinks this is a bad thing. I don't. I honestly don't think it's a bad thing. Now, I know at this point, many of my longtime subscribers are like, oh, Dan's finally done it. He's lost his mind. No, I haven't. No, I haven't. Because when they put in prosecutors like this, remember in Seattle, they're recalling a lot of people. I just named all the people they're recalling in San Francisco. Cops are walking out. LA County Sheriff said, don't come here. We can't protect you because of these laws. The world famous Austin city limit signs, when they defunded their cops in that blue hellhole, right? The cops hung a sign on the Austin city limit signs that said, you're on your own. It's happening in San Francisco, Portland, Seattle. New York, New Jersey, Chicago. And when that happens, here's what happens. We've been fighting a good fight for a long time. I appreciate all my conservative brothers and sisters. Now, other people are stepping up. The only thing I don't like is that he didn't immediately put her through. I hate it taking so long. Here's why. Those 2022 elections are coming up. So in Massachusetts, her policies might not have a chance to kick in. Maybe they will, who knows, especially if she immediately stops prosecuting crime. So it might actually kick in. But definitely for that 2024 election, here's what you're going to see. And here's what you're going to see. You're going to see a lot of states turn red. Here's why. Let me show you. Let not your heart be troubled. Doing a little Rush Limbaugh there. Used to love listening to him.
California residents on edge.
This is the worst it's ever been. Unfortunately, I don't think I've seen it this bad before.
It's time to, take care of the city. The city's as dirty as it's ever been. The crime is rampant.
There has to be consequences for getting involved in criminal activity.
The LA County Sheriff says one quick solution to shutting down the crime wave fast is ending the zero bail program.
When we arrest somebody for a felony crime, we got to have that person stay in jail and to pay the price to earn their freedom. Because right now, it's an easy ticket out. In fact, people that get arrested are out on the street before the deputies or the officers finish writing their reports.
Top Cop says it's time for a change.
And we're asking at this point in time that the nature of these grab and runs, of these follow homes and others, we think is because of a sense that the people of carrying a gun, having a gun in a public setting is not going to have a serious consequence.
Consequences that some blame on the community movement that took to the streets last summer and its calls to defund the police.
Officers on board, especially in our neighborhoods.
We need more staffing and more security, and it's still unsettling. Words are words, but you need more action.
It really sounds like, and this is the opinion that, a lot of people I talk to have, is that Gascon is the fundamental problem. And personally, I don't think he should be in this job. He's not qualified to do.
Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Those aren't conservatives. Those are normal people. They're tired of it. It's a good thing. You get some of these loonies out of here. You can stop having people like Rashida Tlaib say, we got to abolish the police. Remember, she didn't say defund the police. She's front up about it. She says we have to abolish the police. You have people like AOC saying smash and grabs aren't happening. You see what the sheriff's talking about there? The follow home robberies. What they do is they watch you go grocery shopping. They watch you go shopping. They follow you home. While you're unloading your car, they break into your house, rob you at gunpoint, and take your stuff. Ridiculous, huh? You have prosecutors who won't prosecute. But, hey, it's playing right in our hands, so hang in there, people. Something else I wanted to put out. So go over to the Dan Dawson Show on Facebook. I want to show you something. So if you saw the video yesterday, I was tagged by a friend in a Facebook post from Como 4 News. And Como 4 is out of Seattle, Washington. The lefties on there right now are getting just destroyed. And some of these people I know, and they were hard blue before. Now they're just destroying people. They're destroying the lefties. So go take a look at that. But thank you for, there's a couple actually on there. And all those examples are how lefties are getting destroyed. But like, subscribe, share, and as always, especially in these days and times, do what you got to do.